What's up, YouTube? Poor.Mans.Podcast back with another video. Today's video is going to be Gender Roles, Ladies Round Table, a Black Love Series, okay? There are 5 black women in this video, and there are 5 wine glasses in this video, so you know it's going to get interesting. All right, before I get into the video, though, I got to do the YouTube stuff. The goal is 15,000 subscribers by June. It's a crazy goal. It's a big goal, but it's my goal, all right? The only way I'm going to get to my goal is if y'all give me the HBO special. Do you know what the HBO special is? That's the Help a Brother Out special. All right, so go on and help a brother out. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. I'm going to give y'all a second to do that. All right, now let's get to it. Gender Roles, Ladies Round Table. Let's see what they got to say.
And I think it's hard to be the mother of girls as a woman. And I also think that it's challenging to raise feminist boys.
I'm gonna give it a pass. I'm gonna hope that there was more context to that statement. Raising feminist boys. All right, I hope there's more context to that statement. Let's continue the video. I'm gonna see what it's talking about.
I think of how I want him to be as a man, and I mean, I want to allow him freedom to develop into who he is. But there are certain things that I feel like are important. He needs to be, a gentleman and be, there's a confident, but, still sensitive to what a woman needs. And then, but still, care about what he needs too. And then I just feel like as a mom, it is my job to ensure that he grows up to be somebody that,
is doesn't to the women in his life. Yeah.
Precisely. Yeah. And I don't know if you feel that way about Judah, but I think it's important.
I do. And I think it's hard to be the mother of girls as a woman. And I also think that it's challenging to raise feminist boys.
Right.
That is, I think, specifically our job as women, to boys, to raise feminist sons. Yes. And it's been a complete awakening, I'd say, for, myself, my husband, my family. It's just, the next generation. Like, wow, he can be soft, he can be strong,
right?
He can be gentle, and he can also.
Okay, that was a lot. All right, that was a lot, real quick. All right, now I'm gonna try to unpack some of that. It seems the first woman, she has a ring on her finger, and the second woman mentioned a husband. So I'm assuming they're both married. Okay. But this is why, and this is a great thing. It's a great thing that they're married. Black women, gorgeous. All 5 of them gorgeous. I wouldn't trade black women for anything. All right? I love black women, by the way. Just in case, that was mixed up or lost in translation in a few other videos. But this is the reason why, in particular, why you have to have a man in the household. All right? Because hopefully their husbands are men that's gonna lay down the law. Women are supposed to be the voice of emotion. Men or nurture emotion, empathy. Men are supposed to be the voice of authority. Men are supposed to be the voice of discipline, the voice of reason. Okay, and there's a balance to that that's supposed to be made in a family. And I'm hoping their husbands have that authority in their household and do not allow their sons to become quote unquote feminist. Okay, in single mother households, the problem is, number one, in the black family, the black women in single mother households, and I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at the fact that it's the poorest demographic in America. No, I'm not mad at the fact that if you're from a single mother household, you're more likely to go to prison, less likely to graduate from high school. No, that's not why I'm at. Okay, those are reasons that add to this reason, but the main reason is this. We tend to be in our community harder on the girls than we are the guys. We coddle the men in single family when there's a single mother, and especially if it's a black single mother in the household. And I can only speak from black single mothers because I ain't been around too many white single mothers and Asian single mothers and Hispanic single mothers. It may be the same case, but in our community in particular, we coddle the men and we are hard on the women. And what that does is that hardens the females in our community, and it makes them more masculine. So when they go forward, they feel like they have to be the masculine figure in the family. All right. What they try to do is they try to make young black men the man that they wish they had a lot of times. Okay? And if you ask a woman what she wants, it's usually the opposite of what she actually goes after in a guy. If you ask a woman what she wants, she'll probably say, "Oh, I want a nice guy with this and this and that. I just want him to be caring and give me attention." Let's be honest. Is that what you really want? Or do you want the 6-foot basketball player, all right, that can dunk a ball, all right? He's poetic, but he'll shoot somebody over you, and he likes to take long walks on the beach. That's the guy you tend to go after. All right, and women, they tend to make the man what they want to be and not the guy that they go after. So you get these overly feminine men that are easily stepped on by women. All right, and I see it so many times in the black community is men that don't know how to operate around women because they are taught to worship women. And there's nothing wrong with a boy that respects women, all right, but there's a difference between respecting and worshiping. And a lot of times it just becomes outright worship where you feel like women can do no wrong. Women are human beings, and that's what this channel is about. It's all about human nature. Humans are humans. Guys mess up, girls mess up. The problem is when guys mess up, it's on national television, and when women mess up, you can't talk about it. So that's what we do over here. We talk about it. Let's continue the video.
Also be, very masculine. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And when we give boys room to show their full range of emotion, that gives them the ability to be open to the full range of emotion that women show. Because, women are a lot more open with their emotion 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you feel like you have the support from your partners in that, in
I
raising
do,
a feminist son?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
And it does take a little educating other people. I mean, I can't expect other people to treat my son a certain way, if they're the way that they are, but.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna dive into that a little bit. She talked about women being allowed to be more emotional. Well, that's because everyone knows, and even women know, you will grow to resent a man that is too openly emotional because it comes off as feminine. You don't want a person that's leading your ship into battle or leading your family to be making his decisions off of emotion. You need a voice of logic, a voice of reason. And that's why women tend to go after guys that show less emotion. And that's why as a man, we tend to show less emotion. Of course, there are very specific people that we do get vulnerable with. And if you're in that place, you're in a position of privilege. Trust me. If you see a man vulnerable, you're in a position of privilege, because most men understand that, vulnerability, it's nothing wrong with it. It shows that you're leading, like I said, it shows you're leading off of emotion. There's nothing wrong with wanting to lead off of logic. If you have a woman that's overly emotional or a woman that's emotional in general, you can't be emotional with her. That's too much femininity in one spot. She's going to try to become the masculine head of that family. All right. And I'm not saying you can't show emotion ever, but make sure you're leading your household based on logic and not your emotion. Let's continue the video.
I do kind of like with our parents, it's okay that he wants to paint his nails. It's cool. He's a boy, I don't think making him feel like he's doing something wrong by expressing himself or, doing anything that would be perceived as feminine is okay.
Right. Or that, and it also shows them that they can express themselves, period. They don't have to express themselves in this way.
Right.
Like, I see so many little boys, my son's friends, who will maybe have their nails painted or have a flower in their hair or have a pink shirt. And I'm mentioning like intrinsically feminine things that they're into, just to show like boys can have a feminine side and they can also have a masculine side. It's so important for them to be in touch with both. Exactly.
Yes.
And so I was going to say, even in dating, right? Like allowing the space for your partner or person to have a wide range of emotions or like really express themselves, especially nowadays. I don't know. It just seems difficult. I don't know if you dealt with that in dating. Or
I think some people just need to express themselves in all ways, in shape or form. Sexuality, we have this stereotype as if young women can explore their sexuality, but young men can't.
Exactly.
And then that's perpetuated in relationships where it's like, well, can I be with this guy because he was potentially, or he might have been with some guy or in an intimate way. So it's like you can't hold people to those standards. As a feminist, and you're trying to raise a feminist son, you have to allow them to be open to who they are. So it's like you can't treat your girls and not treat your men the same way.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays, especially, you see more men that are more open with their sexuality. And our generation, young rappers our age, where they're wearing skirts and, you know, they're considering themselves asexual. And I mean, that has nothing to do whether they consider themselves, you know, man or woman. It's simply just who they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have so much freedom to express that. And you see these old head, you know, rappers coming at them like, oh man, these suckers, this, that, and the third, where it's like, this is just who they are.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to adapt to that, that's on you.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, our generation, I think young millennials are just out there. And I think we're able to put our wear our hearts on our sleeves and put our emotions on the table without regret.
Right.
And I think sometimes that can be challenging or, you know, too out there for older generations.
Yeah.
You know, they might not be ready for that.
They're not used to that. But I think that it is a blessing. Like, millennials are coming, like, this is
coming true.
Because it's true, like, you know, the older generations are not as open as this new generation. Like, our, like, children specifically are just gonna be so tolerant. And I think that's one thing that we're missing as a society. Like, let's just get some acceptance going. Like, let's get a round table of acceptance. You don't look like me. Cool, let's still play together. Like, why not?
Yeah, when I made that switch and I turned off that thought of men being villainous and everything, it changed my perspective on men in general. So whereas I was dating these macho, I'm a man guys, I was so turned off by that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so turned off by that now. So like,
oh my gosh. This, guys, everybody, ladies too, watch out for this. This is very dangerous rhetoric. Testosterone levels are plummeting in the average men in the US. Guys, if you're out, go get your testosterone checked. All right, it's plummeting. And it's because of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. All right, the ideas that we're taking into our regular everyday lives, we are being taken over by this rhetoric. Men are becoming less of men. All right, and I'm not saying that. I'm trying to put this so it's not offensive. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, because I know that if you want to spread a message, you can't offend people because people automatically go into the defense. I don't want people to go into the defense on my channel. I want people to actually maybe learn a little bit, and I want people to even teach me things. All right, but just watch out for this kind of thought. And I know that they're in the echo chamber where they're all saying things and all agreeing with each other. But listen to what the woman said. She said, I liked to date macho men. All right, the other two girls that have been talking about feminist sons are now married. Okay, so they're in the phase where now they want that macho guy that they got to marry them to become a feminine guy. They want him to become a beta guy now. They want him to become soft so they can take over that relationship. And eventually, once the children have reached 18, they're going to divorce that guy. 70% of women do. All right. And then they're going to go off to find the next macho guy because that's how it works. Women are attracted to macho-ness. Regardless of what they say in these videos, it is just what it is. Until they get to a certain age, then they want a guy to settle down, of course. All right. And we know what that age is. It's the wall. All right, it's 27, which is when you're starting to creep up to it. When you hit 30, you right on it. All right, when you hit 35, you done damn near ran through the wall. All right, but let's continue the video. I don't want to get too far into ranting, but let's continue the video. I know this video is already too long, probably. Let's continue.
Now I'm like into guys who have septum piercings and who are models and just you can't place them.
Okay.
And that is perfectly fine with me, but I know what they like. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? But but to society, it's like, oh well, that has nothing to do with anything. I think it's so beautiful that a person can just be themselves, you know, and that's what's attractive. That's what's beautiful. That's what's life changing. Yeah. And I think that once people open themselves up to that, you'll be free. It's like. It's so freeing. I love it.
Yeah, they don't have to spend their whole life healing from their childhood. They're just come as you are the whole time.
That part.
Hello.
Yeah. There's so much healing to do.
Isn't
Amen.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. just to kind of conclude the video, that's the end of the video. Be careful of this rhetoric. Okay, the idea that young boys can't be boys. All right, it's natural for young boys to be hyper. It's natural for young boys to be a little more aggressive than their female counterparts, and this gets lost in translation, especially in the education system, which is ran by feminist white women. They give these kids pills because they feel like they're not right in the head because they're a little less attentive in class. You're 5 years old and you're supposed to sit in class for 8 hours. It's not normal, especially for young black children, young black boys, to be specific. All right, you're supposed to be energetic. You're not supposed to be able to sit down at a desk for 8 hours. All right, so be careful to anybody that's saying that being masculine, being a man is not natural and is wrong to do that. Okay? And a lot of that feminist movement stuff, they talk that equality shit, but they don't really believe it. They don't really believe it, because anytime we talk about issues when it comes to men, it's swept under the rug. It's water under the bridge. We don't ever hear from it again. All right, when we talk about the legal system taking advantage of men, it's just, oh, well, you should have paid attention. You should have been more careful, right? But anytime anytime a man, gets a position at the job, oh, it's because men run, it's because of the patriarchy. All right, so it's so many double standards to the thing, and and a lot of the people that preach this rhetoric don't want to look at their side, their pros. All right, they just want all of the pros and none of the cons. All right, we know this, we know how this goes. I had to do this video though. Till next time.